Who makes money when boom turns to bust? The Bottom Line with me, Evan Davis, Saturday afternoon at 5:30. Radio for Curious Minds, BBC Radio 4.
Well, now here on BBC One Wales, the news with Michelle Hussain.
Tonight at 10, remembering those who've died in armed conflict. The Queen leads tributes to the servicemen and women who gave their lives for their country. 20 people suffocate on board a Russian nuclear submarine after a fire safety system goes wrong. Fears grow for the thousands of displaced people of Congo. And 46 fights and not out, the boxer Joe Calzaghe defends his unbeaten record. Good evening. A 2-minute silence has been observed at ceremonies across Britain to honour those who gave their lives for their country. 90 years after the end of the First World War, the Queen's led the annual Remembrance Day commemoration at the Cenotaph in London. She laid a wreath in memory of servicemen and women killed in conflict. Nicholas Witchell reports.
It has been the focus of national remembrance ever since it was placed here shortly after the end of World War I. It is the Cenotaph, so simple in design, so profound in meaning, a monument through which we imagine all those who went off to war and who never returned. 90 years after the First World War ended, the Queen came to the Cenotaph, as she and her predecessors have done in every peacetime year, to lead the nation's tributes to the dead of the 2 world wars and many other conflicts. At 11 o'clock, a field gun signalled the start of the national 2-minute silence. At the Cenotaph, the Queen placed her wreath on behalf of Britain and the Commonwealth. A wreath of red poppies, the symbol of remembrance, surrounded by laurel leaves, the symbol of honour. For the second year, Prince William laid a wreath, a 26-year-old army lieutenant who one day will be king, paying his tribute to the hundreds of thousands of young soldiers who perished on the Western Front and elsewhere. Harry Patch, who is 110, is one of only 3 surviving British servicemen who fought in the First World War. He laid his wreath in Wells in Somerset.
You can't forget it once you've been through it.
The anniversary of the end of the First World War will be on Tuesday, when the armistice which brought that war to a close will be recalled. And the debt we owe to those who died will be honoured. It is a debt to those whom we cannot see, but to whom we owe so much. And it is a debt that will never end. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News, at the Cenotaph.
The head of the armed forces has warned ministers not to transfer troops to Afghanistan when Britain's military commitment in Iraq is scaled down next year. Sir Jock Stirrup says the armed services must be allowed to recover from years of overstretch. John Brain reports.
Corporal Lee Michael Fitzsimmons, Second Lieutenant Neville Anthony Lockwood.
In Kandahar today, a poignant reminder that Remembrance Sunday isn't only about conflicts past. British troops stood in silence, listening to a roll call of their fallen comrades. 121 have died in Afghanistan since their mission here began. British and other NATO forces are having some success, but the Taliban is proving a tough